Yeah, so we are going to use npx create react app to create our app. This particular command is going to give us a boilerplate of everything we need to start building our React application without doing a lot of setup. So this thing under the hood, it uses Babel and Webpack to do all the heavyweight lifting behind the scene. As you know, React is a front-end framework. So let's go ahead and create our React application. So let me set up a folder that I'll be using for this project. So I'm going to my desktop and I'll create this. So I'll call this React Basic. Okay, in this folder, I will start up the terminal. So you come here, this is the terminal, you open a new terminal. So with a new terminal open, you write this command npx create react app, and then I put dot. Dot means this React application should be created in this folder. If I was not in a particular directory, I can put a name here, and this create React app is going to create a folder with this name. But I don't want that, so I'm going to put dot here, and everything is going to be created in this particular directory. So I will take enter, and it should create our application for us in a couple of minutes. We'll just wait for our application to be created and then we'll come back to the video. Perfect. Everything has been created now successfully. Happy hacking. So I'll just go ahead and explain to you this various folder. If this is your first time of creating a React app, don't worry about this thing. I know for the first time it looks overwhelming, but I'm going to explain everything. Now, this first one here, the node module, this contains everything that is going to be working behind the scene to make sure that we have a good React app. These are all the dependencies that we are going to be using for our React project. All of them are inside here. I will advise not to mess up with any code inside this node module unless you know what you are doing. And then the next folder that we are going to be looking at is the public. So which we have the most important file here is this index.html. So this is a normal HTML file that has everything as you see here, the head and the title, React application. It has this div. This is the only div a React application has, which has an ID of root. This is where the app is being mounted to the DOM on this ID. So when we go to the next folder, we are going to see how we'll target this ID and mount our application on this ID. Apart from that, every other thing is just normal HTML. These are just pictures that you see here, manifest.json. All those are not very important. The next important thing before we go to this source, this is the readme file that tells you how to install and get React running, or some commands that you can go through and have a look, you just read through and go through the documentation. It's just a readme file. And then this one is the package.json file, which is very, very important. It keeps track of all our dependencies that we are going to be using for our application. So we are not going to be using this test library, because this is used to test React application. We are not going to be using this. We will not use this also. We are using React 18.2.0. So when I'm recording this video, the current version of React is React 18.2.0. And then the next dependency is the React DOM. The other one is React Script and Web Vitals. These are things that are just used for optimization on the web. And then we have another important section, the scripts. So this particular one, this first one, is the one that helps to start up our development server. This build, when we are done with our React app, we can use this build to build it so that we can deploy it to any server that we want. And then this is just for testing, which we are not going to talk about. We are not doing that. That is far beyond this course. Okay. And every other thing you see here is just there for now. So we'll just go to package.lock. Is the same, basically the same thing. Package.json, package lock.json, and then we have our git ignore. These are the files that are going to be ignored when we are uploading our project to a Git to the GitHub repository. So we don't want our node module to be uploaded to the to GitHub online, because it's too heavy. It contains our local dependencies. Maybe you have finished with this code and you put it on your GitHub account. You don't want somebody to come and clone it and have this same node module, because it's too heavy. So what we usually do is we ignore it, and some other things are going to be ignored also, like our env files. Everything that you see here is going to be ignored. Now, you are ignoring these things, all of them that are in this node module, because you are sure they are inside here. Once as anybody clone your application from GitHub and the person wants to run your application locally on their machine, the person will write a code known as npm install. npm install is going to check all the dependencies that are listed in this package.json file, and then it's going to download them and create a new node module for us. So we will not need to upload this one into our GitHub when we want to push our code. Now we come to the most important file now, which is the folder, which is the source. So in this source, this first one, app.css, is a normal CSS file. This is a JavaScript file also, app.js, app.test. We are not using this testing framework for this project. Index.css, and then index.js. This is our entering point into our application. This is where we render our app. Where is our app? This is our app. We render this our app here, and we mount it on this root ID. Remember, I told you before that we are going to bring you back here. You remember this root, this ID here. This is where we are going to mount our React application. So that is why when we come here, when we come to this index, we are mounting this app. This is our app component. This one here, this is it here. We are rendering it and we are mounting it on this ID root. Now we see React strict mode here. This is just for React to make sure that you follow all the rules and regulations set by React to have a good application. That is why we wrap everything inside React strict mode. We are going to see this is a component. If you don't know about components, we are going to look at it in the course of the project. So yeah, that is basically everything you need to know about the setup of React application. And now the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to run our server. So we have installed our Create React app, and it has fixed everything for us. This is the boiler code. Everything is already ready for us to start writing our components and making use of them. But now let me show you how to run it on the browser and see what is actually happening. So what we are going to do is npm run start. Some people will just do npm start and it's still going to work normally. So we are starting up the React server, the development server. Let's wait and see. Okay. It's running on local host 3000. Great. If you see this now up and running, that means you've done everything correctly and your React app is live now. So we'll shift this a little bit this way and such that we can develop and see what is happening immediately on the screen. Perfect. So let's make some changes here and you will see it being reflected in our app. We see edit here. Can you see this code? Now I'm going to add something. Let me use a new div, not a new div, a new p tag. Sorry. We save that and we see it here. That means everything is up and running well. So I'm going to take off most of these things here. We will not need them. I'll clear off this and I'll make a div here. I'll call this hello. So we should see hello on the screen. Perfect. So this is where we are going to start building our app now and testing things in React.